Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. We're so glad that you're joining us today. Obviously, we're here to learn about MD Live, which is one of the newest service products here that we're offering from senior marketing specialists, and we're really excited to talk about it. We think it'll be something really helpful for the future, especially if this COVID stuff sticks around. So, first things first, my name is Sadie Frazier. I'm a training and education specialist here.
And I'm Chalon Jackson. I'm a member of the accounts team here at Senior Marketing Specialists.
Yes, very excited to have him on here today. He talks with our agents about this all the time, so it'll be good to have his brains and his expertise on here. Before we get started, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. First things first, we always have that question and answer box. We love for you to use it. Today, we would prefer that you wait to ask your questions until the end, just because we might answer your questions throughout it. We have a lot of ground to cover, and we're going to try to keep it short today. So try to save your questions towards the end. If it just absolutely cannot wait, go ahead and put it in there, and we'll try to get to it too. But we'll most likely wait till the end, just to let you know. Also, let's see. Yes, today we're going to try to keep it short and be looking out for a follow-up email afterwards. I believe either the outreach team or the accounts team, maybe someone's going to be giving you a follow-up call as well. So if you have any questions that don't get answered here today, or if you have questions that you just want to ask a human being, that's not, you don't have to type it in. Yeah, you can ask them, bombard them with all the questions that you have. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's get started. So first things first, what is MD Live? Why are we even here? Well, MD Live is, there's going to be two levels of this. One, what is it, and one, what is it not, sort of. First thing is, it is a telemedicine account. It's a telemedicine service. So basically, it's a virtual doctor's visit, a visit with a doctor that you can have over video call, that you can have over phone call. You can use their app for it. A doctor visit without having to leave your house, to put simply. That's what this is. It is a non-insurance product, so you don't have to have an insurance license to do this, to sell it, and we'll explain in a little bit why that's needed to be mentioned and why that can be kind of handy for your business, that it's not an insurance product. Like I said, it is available over the app. It's available over video call and phone call. So it's nice and convenient, a very convenient service. Also, it has a set monthly cost. So it's going to be a subscription-based sort of thing. We'll get into more details of the cost, but you'll find that it's very cheap. And yeah, it's a really nice thing that you can offer all of your clients and have for your own family as well. And also, I do want to mention it is available in all 50 states, and a really cool thing about MD Live is it's available in 200 languages, which I think is important to mention because, so my roommate is a medical student.
Yeah.
And she has talked about how she is, told me about this issue that they find in healthcare where a language barrier is a big issue with people not getting the healthcare that they receive.
Absolutely.
If you're not able to communicate very well, then you might not get the healthcare that you need, or you might just not want to take your family in, or whatever it may be. And we live in America, which is a mixing pot, and it's a beautiful thing. So this is a product that's all inclusive for anyone, for any of your client base. You can offer it to all ages, all cultures, all languages, which I think is a really important thing to mention. I think it's a very important thing.
And I think that access to care is really what the core of MD Live is. And then sometimes it's not that physical barrier of being able to get to a doctor. In some cases, it's, if you live in a rural area, there may not be that person that can translate to, Vietnamese, or to translate to some other language, that they just don't have access to that. And they can, maybe try to video conference someone in or call someone the next town over. But this gives you much more immediate access to someone who can catch those linguistic nuances than when we've got those concerns about making sure we effectively translate the concerns of the patient.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. It's awesome. So now I want to go over, some of you may be thinking, I'm glad that you're on here, you didn't just write it off, but some of you may be thinking, well, how is this any different than like a nurse hotline? A lot of MA benefits offer nurse hotlines, and great thing, but this is something that's a little bit different, and there's a few reasons why. The first thing, it is not ran by nurses, it is actual doctors, and it's not just all brand new doctors who are starting out in the field sort of thing. There's an average of 15 years experience for all of these doctors. So you are getting doctors from, all levels of experience, which is really awesome. It's adds a little bit more confidence, adds a level of confidence to it.
I think so. And I think, if you look at the literature MD Live provides, that lends a lot of credibility and a lot of peace of mind to the clients, knowing that these are board certified physicians. They've gone through the board certification process. They've done their residencies. They've been through the ringer to get where they are today and really know what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very legit. And then also you have 24/7 access, even on holidays, to those doctors, which is really, again, it's all about reaching everyone. It's all about this convenience, this access to healthcare. Well, you have access to it 24/7, even on holidays. So that's really great. And then also one thing that sets it apart pretty majorly from nurse lines is they can distribute prescriptions over these. So it is just like a regular doctor's visit. We'll dive into that just a little bit more in just a second, but those are the main differences between a nurse hotline and MD Live, and that's just sums up basically what MD Live is. So now that we know what it is, let's talk about why you would want it. And there's other things out there like this, but why specifically MD Live too? So Traylon?
Absolutely. So I think MD Live presents a pretty unique value add for any agent out there. Because like Sadie mentioned, some plans may include a benefit similar to this, but there's a lot of exceptions to that rule and a lot of things that MD Live can do maybe more effectively. I think the pricing is definitely one of those things. For less than your Netflix subscription, you can get access to healthcare for your entire family, no copays, no limits on number of visits. I think it's something that you should at least offer to everyone in your book of business. It doesn't mean it's going to be a perfect fit for everyone. No one product is, but it's something that I think should be offered to everyone. The benefit of not having to leave home to get care can be so important. And I want everyone to think, I know COVID's the big talking point, but think beyond COVID. There are people with mobility issues, people with transportation issues, that this is still an incredible benefit, COVID or not, or no COVID. I know I spoke to actually one of our agents who had MD Live during kind of the height of COVID in March or April, and they were able to get a visit, a prescription, and the prescription delivered from the local pharmacy in less than 2 hours for their 5-month-old that had pink eye.
That's awesome.
So that's a perfect example of what MD Live can actually do for clients. And the biggest thing is it cuts down on ER visits. We know that, not only is that a huge time sink, a huge cost in terms of copays, but a lot of ER visits don't actually need to go to the ER.
Right.
That's just the only thing that's available in your geographic area, or depending on the time of day that you actually need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do want to take a step back really fast. You mentioned that you can offer it to everyone, and you offered your entire book of business. So that means if you are in finance, your financial planner, or if you work in PNC, all that kind of stuff, this is something that you can offer, not just your senior clients, but all of your clients. So yeah, absolutely. I think that's cool. That's
and I think it's a great opportunity for multi-line agents to think out of the box. This is a way where if you maybe have some younger clients that have a child going off to college, if they're going to school in another state, they may have issues finding in-network doctors. If they're still on their parents' plan, they may not want to go to the student health center where they have, typically longer wait times and just quick in and out appointments. So MD Live gives them the benefit of having access to good doctors without those wait times, having as much time as they need. I know that's something we hear time and again is these doctors are not in a rush to get you off the phone. They want to take care of your issue. And I think that's so valuable for people. And really just so many other possible applications. I know I've even talked to a couple agents that are looking at offering this to gyms in their town to offer on a group basis as an additional perk to their members. So we know gyms were shut down for a couple months due to COVID, and having that access to healthcare as an additional part of your gym membership is a really unique value add for those clients that they can then integrate into that gym membership.
That's very cool. Yeah, it is kind of a networking almost opportunity too.
Absolutely.
That's very, very cool. And well, let's mention why some of you might be here. As Olivia always says, warm and fuzzies don't pay the bills. So yeah, you make commissions off of this as well, which is important to add too. So we won't dive deep into commission details or anything like that. If you are interested, you can call us and our outreach team. Someone from our outreach team would love to talk about commissions with you as well. Accounts might be able to handle that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we can talk about details with you about that. So also more on why MD Live, let's talk about what all it treats. And as you can see from this list, it's kind of everything. It's a lot of things. Kind of going back to that last point of 70 to 80% of reasons why people go to the ER, MD Live can handle. You can see that on here. They handle a whole lot of things. Pink eye, like he said, we had an agent tell us in the midst of quarantine and all that kind of stuff, he got that all handled for his new baby, which is awesome, without even having to leave the house or risk any of that. So that's pretty awesome.
And I think, one of the other stories that stands out to me was someone I spoke to that they have a chronic condition and they're on regular maintenance medications, but those meds have to be re-upped periodically. The prescription has to be renewed. And again, kind of at the height of the lockdowns in different parts of the country and things like that, they were able to use MD Live actually to get that prescription renewed for just their chronic condition medications that they have to have, but getting to the doctor was a real issue due to all the shutdowns.
Yeah, that's awesome. One really cool thing that we've seen from this product is we've gotten a lot of great testimonials, not just external, but also internal too. If you were to call us, I'm sure someone that you talk to on the accounts team or the outreach team, they probably have a personal story as well. There's lots of us here, lots of talk around the office about how helpful MD Live has been. Senior marketing specialists did have something. We partnered with another company that was similar to MD Live, and whenever MD Live came around, it was a little bit, they just seemed to work out the kinks that our last company didn't. So it's, very cool, really well-oiled machine. It's a really great, they figured out how to do telemedicine for sure. Yeah, we're proud to represent this product for sure. Also, if you just, real quick note, if you go on the app and you look at all the things they offer, kind of bringing up the COVID stuff, they will have an option. If you have some sort of COVID scared, you just want to talk to someone about it, there's an option to talk to a doctor about that as well. That's an option. I'm sure that they obviously can't do any diagnosis or anything like that, but you can have a conversation with someone about it. And also, let's not forget that they can prescribe things on here. They can prescribe medicine on here, which nurse hotlines can't do. So they can get those prescriptions to you over the phone, over the video chat or anything like that. There isn't much they can't prescribe either. And basically narcotics, heavy painkillers, certain steroids, those are really, whenever you get into that realm, they can't, but basically everything else they can. So don't forget that that's a huge ad. That's something that you can't get with all telemedicine products, which is very cool. So we are going to show you about the member enrollment, how your clients can enroll, what your personalized website would look like, all that sort of stuff. But beforehand, we do have a few more notes to add before we dive into that. First thing, whenever you get all set up with MD Live, you will get something called a Pearl. If you've used Enrollment Express or other products like that, you know what a Pearl is. It stands for personal URL. And basically, this is a URL that you can link on your website, on your social media, all sorts of stuff like that, and people can click it and they can enroll into MD Live and you get credit for it without even having to have a conversation with them, basically.
Yeah, I know I've seen so many agents already just adding this to their signature lines, putting it on the back of their business card.
That's awesome.
It's a great just add-on to any of your main marketing pieces.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not, the thing about Pearls is they're not going to be like a huge like lead generator or anything like that, but it is something that's really nice to offer. It's convenient for both you and your clients. So yeah, that's just a nice little add.
Absolutely.
Something for sure. And also, we talked about earlier how it's not an insurance product. So this is something easy for you to set up with your admin staff. This is something that your admin staff can handle for you, that they can manage, something to, that they can do.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. I know a lot of folks, especially if you have a brick and mortar office, standard practice, You get done with a client appointment, they go out, they talk to your receptionist to set up the next appointment. Even if that's a year out, that's just a great practice to have. And I think this is one of those, well, while I've got you here, things that a receptionist can bring up MD Live. You can answer questions about it if they have any. It's something that if you have your staff sending out, birthday cards, quarterly newsletters, anything like that, it's really easy to toss that pearl in there. Or even if they just call in to set an appointment, it's good to just get that on the agenda for every meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with MD Live is you can keep your PCP, your primary care physician, in the loop with it as well. We know that sometimes MD Live will probably be used as something that's more convenient rather than something that you use all the time. You still want to have that PCP, that's totally fine. It gives you the option to send over that information, so that way you can kind of keep record of it, your PCP can keep record of it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's
and I think that's another one of the big selling points over some of the other telemedicine services out there. That ability to transfer those medical records in a pretty easy way is just so important for continuity of care.
For sure.
Because just because you couldn't get out of the house today or couldn't get to see your PCP for some reason doesn't mean that they don't need to be aware of what happened and how you were treated. And if you're not feeling well, you can't always trust yourself to be able to relay that information effectively.
That's a good point.
So being able to send those records to your primary doctor is really important.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really great point. Also, it will be effective within 24 to 48 hours after signing up. That is for both you and the client. So you can start selling it within 48 hours once you sign up, and then also your client once they get registered within 24 to 48 hours. And we've been seeing closer to a 24-hour turnaround, but between 24 and 48, which is pretty awesome. And then also it's easy to retain business with something like this, especially when you have your admin staff taking care of it. You can offer to your whole book of business.
Yeah, and it's just that standard practice of the more products you have in a household, the better those clients are, the easier they are to retain. So, this being one more feather in the cap for that client is a really good way to increase that retention and just increase the quality of that client's experience.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, so now we're going to get into the portion where we kind of quickly show you, quickly not because we're going to go through it quickly because it's that easy. We're going to show you the member enrollment. So this is what your clients would see and how they would get registered for it. You'll see that the website can be personalized to you. So yeah, it's pretty neat. Let me pause the screen really fast and get this all switched up for us. Alrighty, here you go. Chaylin, do you want to take the reins on this?
I'll take the reins.
Absolutely.
So this is what your PURL will lead to. It'll be a sales page just like this. You'll see this is kind of our generic one for training purposes. It'll have your name, your agency name down here. It'll also have a phone number and an email. And then it has some great information about the product. It's got some highlights of how it works, way to watch just a quick video about it, some frequently asked questions. These are all super important. It'll also have a little contact form there at the bottom so folks can just email with questions if necessary.
That's awesome.
But what we really want to show you is this member enrollment. It is, like Sadie said, it is super fast. It is really easy. The only option is this $7.99 $0 copay family level coverage. That is the plan. So if it's a single person, if it's someone with the whole family, it's for, I always tell folks, it's for you and anyone you claim on your taxes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And it's just super easy. So we get in there and it's some really basic information. It is company name, if there is one, first name, last name, address, adding contact info, date of birth, credit card info, of course, if there's anything different. And then they're actually going to acknowledge this, check the box, and then they can e-sign and type their name.
Yeah, super easy.
5 minutes and they're signed up.
Right, yeah, exactly. And also I do want to mention, like he said, it's $7.99 for your whole family. So that means if you have 12 people that you claim on your taxes, it's available to those 12 people. If you have 2 people, it's available to 2. And also the price is not going to change, no matter how many people are on it. It's always going to be a $0 copay. So I don't think that you can beat that price literally anywhere.
No, you really can't. So. And I think that family coverage is really important, especially for you multi-line agents out there. If you are primarily doing P&C or something like that, and you have a lot of younger families, if someone has 3 or 4 kids at home, I mean, they can't afford to pack everyone into the car to take one kid to the doctor because the other three are going to get sick while they're there.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
this is such a good solution for that,
Right.
rather than trying to find a babysitter for the other kids or dragging them all along. I mean, I have one 3-year-old, and it's a pain to get him to the doctor by himself.
Right.
So
Yeah.
having multiple kids just adds to the confusion and chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. I am one of 6. So I am very aware of, in my mom, if this, something like this was around whenever I'm 4 and I'm number 4, and I just, yeah, it's, if this were around whenever whenever I was a kid, and my mom's like, what? I don't have to take all 6 and load them up in the car by myself, and then, you know, all that kind of thing. Keep them wrangled while we're in the waiting room kind of thing. Yeah, all for this price.
Yeah.
She would be like, where do I sign? Take my money right now. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, this is a really great option for, yeah, it's just convenient
No,
for
it
everyone.
really is.
So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you guys, that's how you do that. It's very, very simple. I don't really know if there's very much more to say about that. It's very straight to the point. If you do have any other questions, you're always welcome to call in, and we can kind of go through it slower with you. But let me switch back here to the presentation and get this set up on the next slide. Okay, yes, very quickly. I also do, so that was the website. I do want to show you, this is available on the app. So very quickly, I'm going to go through these. These are 3 screenshots of kind of what your process looks like. And this is client facing. This is not going to be you as an agent managing this. This is, yeah, it shows everyone that you have on here. So let me pull this up. I hope you can see my mouse. So you see my face there. This is my profile. It's just me. I don't claim anyone else but me on my taxes. So it's just me. But if you had a spouse or kids or grandchildren or whoever it is, they will show up right here with their names. And so what you would do is you open up your app, you click whoever you are wanting to speak to, the doctor, click them, click get started. And then as you can see in the next screenshot, it's just going to be a simple chat like this with this cute little doctor lady. And she's going to ask you basically while you're here. Yeah. Gives you a few options. If you scroll down, there's more options. That just shows some of them in that screenshot there. You can see that COVID-19 thing is on there right now. So you'd click whatever you're wanting to speak to a doctor with, and then they will get you set up with the time. Most of the time, it's about a 15-minute wait. I can't think of too many other people unless it was like right whenever we got into quarantine, all that kind of stuff, really high volumes. But most of the time, you're going to have around a 15-minute wait. I haven't heard too many other people who have had anything different.
Generally a super brief wait time, and I don't think we touched on it yet, but I think one of the biggest things too is the ability to schedule an appointment.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to just sit there and wait a few minutes, or if you have something to do, or like in the case of kids, you know, maybe you want your spouse to be home during the appointment. That way you can both get the information at the same time. You can schedule that appointment and someone will give you a call, or you can hop on a video chat through the app on your computer, whatever's convenient.
Yeah.
So I think that just adds another layer of utility to what's already a great product, is that ability to be really flexible with scheduling.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really great point. I don't think we had mentioned that yet. And you can also see in that third screenshot, that's what he's talking about. You can see all your upcoming visits. You can see the things that have been requested, not quite yet fulfilled. And then you can also see the history of all the things that you've done with MD Live as well, which is always helpful. Let's see. So really fast, I do want to hit on this. We have someone asking, can you sell this in multiple states? It is available in every state. So
yeah, so available in all 50 states. Like we said, not an insurance product, does not require a license to sell. If you're someone who's already comfortable working over the phone, I really think a product like MD Live can be a really good tool to test the waters. Since it doesn't require licensing, it's a good way to maybe get your feet wet in a new state, figure out how to work the phones in those states, figure out how receptive people are before you jump into getting licensing and state appointments with all your other products, and really jump in financially to that commitment. So it's a great way to test a new market, I think, in that sense.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that that's not quite something that, obviously you work with that kind of stuff every day, but yeah, that's an awesome point. I'm glad that you brought that up. Alrighty, so now what? So you heard about it, you're interested in it. You want to get set up, or maybe you're not quite sure yet and you want to ask a few more questions. What's your next step? Well, your next step is going to be call senior marketing specialist. Give us a call.
Yeah.
We'll set you up with someone to talk about it with. If you're interested in getting registered, we will walk that through with you as well. So that's going to be your first thing. We use it ourselves. I do just want to mention we use it here at Senior Marketing Specialist. This is something that we get and we love it. I've used it. I loved it. Super fast. It was a very quick phone call. Not that she was in a rush to get me off or anything, but it was just, yeah, she didn't waste any time.
Yeah.
I only waited maybe 10 minutes. Super duper easy. It was awesome. And yeah, it was great. So we will also, yeah, we'll get you set up. Easy registration as an agent, also easy registration as a client. Have you helped anybody get registered with this?
Yeah, absolutely. It is a super easy process. It takes really not any longer than registering a client, maybe 5-10 minutes. Super easy to get set up. Like we said, call in, talk to the outreach team, the accounts team about appropriate commission levels, and especially mention if you have downlines you'd like to get set up, so we can make sure everyone gets set up properly. But it is just such an easy process.
Awesome. Alrighty, so there's that. We're so glad that you guys joined us today. We would love to open it up for questions. Ask us anything. We'd love to answer. If we can't answer it for you right now, we'll get back to you on it. But yeah, go ahead and ask any questions if you do have any questions. Meanwhile, Traylon, have you personally used this?
I have not. My wife actually has, and I must say it was pretty exciting. A couple years ago, actually, she used a different telemedicine service that was provided through her insurance at work at her employer, and had just a horrible experience, a long wait time, and then a wrong diagnosis on top of that.
Oh no.
So that was pretty horrible, and certainly not a universal experience, not outlier, I'm sure. But then more recently used MD Live to get some answers on just a quick complaint she had, and again, that really short wait time. I think it was definitely less than half an hour. And I think one of the biggest things is you go to a doctor's office, you sit in a waiting room, you're greeted by a receptionist, a nurse takes you back, someone else comes in and does your blood pressure, and then you spend 6 seconds with the actual doctor.
Right.
With MD Live, you're spending the entire time with the doctor.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it gives people so much more confidence in the information they're receiving.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's not any added like fluff and stuff to it. It's just straight and to the point, which I think is, super important. I know that whenever I used it, like I said, it was a very like in and out sort of thing because it was very easy. And I think one of the things I appreciated about it most is I didn't have to take any time off of work to do it. I just stepped to the side, told my boss, hey, I have to go take a phone call. Just did it really fast. And it was, didn't have to take any time off of work or anything like that, which, like you said, whenever you go to a doctor's office, even if it's something super simple, even if you talk to the doctor for 5 minutes, it still takes like an hour of your time plus commute. So it's
well, and I think the bigger thing is, I mentioned rural communities, like where I grew up, and my parents face this now. If they have to go to the doctor, that's a whole day, because they drive down here to go to the doctor from about 2 hours away. So anything more serious than a primary care visit, if you need a specialist of some kind, in a lot of areas of rural America, you're 2-3 hours away from any major doctor, decent hospital. So it can be just such an asset to those folks that have that long drive or long commitment to actually get anywhere.
Absolutely. And I've even heard of people using it as almost kind of like a minor second opinion sort of thing. So it's just another person that they can talk to. That's super convenient.
Well, and I think in a lot of cases, even as a first opinion, because, if we look at a lot of healthcare plans, whether it's, on the Medicare side or the under 65, if you actually go to a doctor, in a lot of cases, you're going to have some kind of copay, some kind of coinsurance. And it's not that you shouldn't go to your doctor, but having this, if you use MD Live one time in a year and it keeps you out of an urgent care, keeps you out of the emergency room, it has more than paid for itself. I mean, we all know what emergency room and urgent care copays look like. If you go to an urgent care and they run one blood test, you're already well above the annual cost of MD Live.
Absolutely.
And you multiply that by a family of 5, family of 10, family of however, it really quickly pays for itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like we don't have anybody else asking any questions here. So thank you so much for joining us today. I had a blast. Thank you, Traylon, for being on here
Absolutely.
with us. Be looking out for that follow-up email, also follow-up call as well. There will be a recording link to this. So if you had to hop off or if you just want to go back and watch it to search for some specific whatever reason you'd want to watch a recording, it'll be linked in there. So be looking out for that. So yes, thank you all so much for joining us. Have a good one.
We'll see you all.